Well, hello friends, and welcome back to the cabin. I'm down here taking my dogs for a walk because guess what? It is 70 degrees and we're supposed to have like a whole week of that, but then it's supposed to get back down cold. But I wanted to take them for a walk because they haven't been out very much last week because it seemed like that's all it did was rain. But if you guys haven't watched the video, the Outpost video that we put out Monday, I'll leave a link up here in the top right hand corner where you can go and check that out, because I believe that I might need to elaborate just a little bit on some of the things maybe that I didn't share. Well, as you can see, I've managed to do a little bit of cleanup down here in the bottom. And then of course the reason we don't use this field a lot is because out there in the middle, that's what it's like. One of the neighbors that I used to have before he passed away that lived down the road there said that the previous owner of this property had went down through this field, we're talking maybe a half a mile, dug it by hand, said he was a little short fella, and when you drive down the road before he got it completed, all you could see is dirt coming out of the hole. And he filled it up with chestnut holes. Now you know that chestnut trees used to grow here in North America before the disease killed them out. But he filled it up with chestnut holes, and I guess they have deteriorated, so there's no more drainage. And don't really have the money to do all of that kind of excavation, you know. So I was talking with one of my friends about maybe digging 3 separate ditches and sloping them towards the creek here where we could drain that middle, because I can't hardly get in there with a bush hog and do anything without marring up. And that's the last thing I want to do is get that big tractor down there and get it stuck. So maybe one of these days we can get enough money where we can have that done and be able to turn that into a pasture if Jennifer wants to have a cow or a horse or something like that. Well, we'll go back up here and I'll show you. I was able to work, you know, maybe an hour or two on that little generator shed. So I'll show you kind of where I've got to. And then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that I said on Monday's video. Well, I didn't get very far, did I? I'm basically trying to still use up scrap material from the juice shack right here. There's some boards down there left over, that the ones that molded, that I chose not to use on the workshop down there. If I ran them through the planer like I did some of the other material that you watched me do when I was building that vanity, I was afraid that they would just be so much thinner than the other, but I've still got quite a few left down there. I think I'm going to mill off enough of the 12 footers because everything that I built on this side of the workshop is much shorter, but the back of the workshop still needs some 12 footers. I think I might be able to, I think I'm going to need 9. I think I could plane 9 down because they're going to be up on the top anyway, and or higher up, and I could go ahead and finish that and, you know, just clip that mold off. Well, I actually killed it, but it's still discolored, so I need to get that discoloration off. But yeah, and I put this on there so that I didn't have to move this again. I've got some paper on here, so the other day when it was raining quite a bit, this actually didn't get wet because it wasn't blowing, so it didn't come in sideways, it came straight down. So yeah, I need to mill some of that out if I'm going to use it, make the sides and make a door. And then I've got some metal left underneath the front porch from the workshop down there, and I think that I can finish this. And then, like I've told you before, we'll get this tank moved over there, get it hooked up, and everything will be ready to go as far as the generator. But like I said, I may not even have to use this thing because this is pretty much staying at 100% all the time, and primarily that's because I put the kitchen stove, the refrigerator, and the heating stove on propane. And I have an on-demand hot water heater that's going to be going in there as well that will be on propane. So my needs for power are very little, you know, lights, computer, ceiling fans, things like that. Oh, watching some TV and so on and so forth. But yeah, this is as far as I got, so this will probably be on the next Outpost video. You'll see me finishing this. Folks, like I said, if you're new here and you haven't seen the video that we put up Monday on our main channel, I'll leave a link up here in the top right hand corner where you can go and check that out. But in regards to some of the things that I talked about on Monday, the reason, you know, I had a lot of folks saying that, you know, don't be watching that, or you shouldn't be watching that, or whatever, and I appreciate that, and you're right. I shouldn't be, and actually I don't. But the way I found out, I was, you know, looking information to see what's going on in the world, right? Because the only outlet that I have is the internet, because we don't have cable up here, and all I have is the satellite. So I've been watching, you know, independent channels and people that are delivering news around the world. And I was watching one, and he was talking, and this was a positive channel, but he said, I want you to take a look at this. And then he showed a clip, and that's where I caught on to the only reason that I did that video on Monday. And he showed it where, like I said, they were talking about, you know, the new things that are going on in the White House and how they disapproved of it and so on and so forth. I'm talking about The View. And so I thought, you know, I know he had that clip in there, but just for my own sake, I wanted to get it straight from the horse's mouth. So I just typed in that channel, The View. And so I listened, and, you know, so when I heard what was said, it didn't set well with me, because, you know, I'm on YouTube, and I try to do the very best job that I can, you know, in filming and the angles that I'm shooting, and not just giving you one direct hit or one angle all the time to look at. And I try to do a little bit of talk, you know, but not too much, because it's very, very difficult to please everybody. And some people I talk too much, others I don't talk enough. When I heard those words, I thought, you know, that's just not right. And the more I thought about it, the more I was getting torn up inside, because I'm like, you know, that enough is enough. And I've had enough of it. And, you know, it's one thing to deal with comments, you know, because trust me, if you're going to have a channel, you're going to get silly, crazy comments that come your way, and they're not always true, right? But you know, at some point you've got to say something, you know. And I just figured it was time for me to say something, because I had stewed about that for so long that it was just physically taking its toll on me. And of course, you know, over the years, we've heard the same type of thing over and over and over and over. And so I just got to the point where, you know, that's enough. And I felt very bad, because when I did the video, because that's not like me, you know, well, this is a homestead and this is what we're doing. And I didn't want to really bring other people in, you know, on my personal problems. But then I got to thinking, you know, this is everybody's problem. It's everybody's problem around the world, because it's not just this country, folks, it's other countries. You know, you got the folks up there in Canada that are complaining about the way that their country has been running, you know, for a long time. You've got over in Europe and so on and so forth. So I thought, you know, this is not just local, this is around the world. But at some point, enough is enough. And that's how I actually gained the information, or got the information, or got the insight, let me just say it that way, to, you know, put out a video and just let folks, you know, because I live up here alone. The only interaction I really have, you know, is with you all, or you know, if I'm going to church, or when my some family comes up to visit, you know, because I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything, haven't since we started this channel. I've been trying to, you know, get this put together, get it accomplished, because my grandpa used to tease with me a whole lot. He said, you can rest when you get old. There's been a lot of good things that's happened with communications, you know, as far as the internet goes, because it brings us to you, it brings you information. You can look up information. I'll tell you, a lot of the stuff I've done around here, I didn't a bit know more how to do it than a man on the moon. This solar, never have done anything like that at all. And I'll be honest with you, it's set out there, and I was very, very timid, I guess you could say, about even starting that project, because I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew if, you know, if I could see some pictures and see it being put together, I could do that, right? So that's basically what I did. You know, as far as me stapling the wire and stuff like that, you know, that's a no-brainer. You just don't want any sharp turns in your cables, okay? They need to have like a sweeping turn to them. But once I got involved with it, I knew that I had to see it, you know, to the end. I wished I'd have done some of the other projects like that, because we still got this workshop sitting down here that's, you know, hadn't been done. But I've got a bunch of logs down there as soon as I can see my way fit to kind of get this place cleaned up, because working in the cabin in there, I've got the whole front porch that needs to be cleaned off now that weather's getting a little bit better. And then down there I've got to start milling some logs to at least get the siding on. I don't know if I'll get the floors put in there or not this year, you know, but that's another thing. I've got a lot of the floor joists already cut, but then I have to, you know, mill a bunch of sheathing to go on the floor and stuff like that. So we'll just see what happens. But there's a couple of other goals that I'd like to get done this year, but you know, I'm not in really any big hurry for any of them, you know. I'm just trying to put it together, and I'm thinking I might have to put together in another 5 years, which would be 10 years, right? Or maybe, or 11. It seems like I've been on YouTube forever, you know. We've got like, I don't know, between the two channels, we may have like 750 videos out there. So if you haven't seen them all, go check them out. Or you could just go in there and push the button, hit play, and just let the computer watch them as they go. Hit play all. Getting news like that is like eating too much of a good thing. It'll make you sick. You know, you don't want to eat too much cake, you don't want to eat too many cookies, you don't want to, of course I don't eat sweets, but you don't want to eat too much, because you can get sick. Too much of, I wouldn't say it was a good thing, but too much of one thing will make you sick, right? You might even be getting sick of me on this channel, I don't know. I've been in town today, and I could only get snippets here and there. I answered a few before I left of the comments on the video from Monday, but very heartfelt comments coming back from you all, and I appreciate it. I really do. It wasn't meant for anything, I guess, other than for me to rant, because I'm sorry. I love my children so much that I'm very concerned about them and future generations. So that's the reason that I said what I did. Anyway, we're going to have to stop this, because I don't know if I can make it through it or not. I received comments from around the world, people watching our channel, people that have never commented before and felt the need to comment. I certainly do appreciate that. Comments and views help the channel. If people don't make comments or give thumbs up, or, you know, click on the video and watch it and that type of thing, then YouTube doesn't push it out there for new people. So we could be around for 10 years and nobody never know it. You know, we've had a lot of people stumble onto our channel and say, you know, hey, great channel, and we certainly do appreciate that. They just found it, you know. And even if you're watching this type of material, doesn't mean that a new channel is going to come across. You know, it's only with YouTube promotions. So the more people that click on the video, the more comments they make, the more thumbs up they make, the more interaction that's going on, those videos get pushed out and get promoted on YouTube, and that way more people actually see that you're out there, and they may or may not, you know, even after that, click on your video. But that's how you get recognized, or you get advertised. Let me just put it that way. Like I said, around the world comments, and they were, some of them touched me so deeply. I thank you for that, because it helps. It really does. And wherever you're at, if you're living in a country where you're experiencing some of the things that we are here in America, we have a lot of Canadian friends that are watching our channel, and a lot of people in other parts of the world. So my hat's off to you all. If you're experiencing some of the same things that we are here, you know, there's no reason for things to be like this. Because, you know, we're all born, we live, and we die. Okay? There's no reason for us to be here, living, and be acting like that, because life is so short. We need to live life to the fullest, you know. And that's what I'm trying to do up here. And I do not watch. I have a collection of DVDs in there, you know, and like, I have like 6 years of All in the Family. I've got so many years of Good Times. I've got Gomer Pyle. I got all those old shows that, you know, were funny. Back in the day when people could say what they wanted to say and other people weren't offended. You know, it's surprising how many people get offended today just because you might say, hey, good morning. You know? How many of you have done that and just got a look or a stare? I will tell you this, that when we moved to the south from the north, we were very impressed with a lot of the people down here, because when you drive down the road here, and it still happens, not as much as it used to, say, 20 years ago, but you can be driving and people like this as you pass. If there's a funeral, everybody pulls over to the right and they stop. Everybody. Until the funeral goes by, and then they proceed. You know? That's respect. That's how we should treat each other. That's how we should treat other countries. And I don't know. I don't know, friends. I don't know. And like I was saying the other day, you know, if you're reasonably intelligent, you want life and happiness and prosperity and good things for your children later on. I mean, that's simple. I don't know what sort or where you get your information at, but I have been finding out that there's a lot of folks in other parts of the world that are feeling the same thing that we're feeling, and they're thinking the same things that we're thinking, and they're not happy either. But I have good news. God is still in control, regardless of what's happening. Our Lord and Savior is in control. He knows exactly what's going to happen. That's really all I need. So although I may get down from time to time, like I was talking the other day, every once in a while, you know, I have to say this, friends, I don't get sick. Every once in a while I get a headache or a runny nose, but the Lord has blessed me, I just don't get sick. So every once in a while we may get down, but we don't need to be pushed down. If we get pushed down, get back up, right? No matter how hard you get knocked down, you got to get back up. Because if you don't, you're going to get walked all over. And a lot of these folks in these other countries, they're feeling it too. I had a comment from South Africa talking about how bad it is over there. I've had comments from Canada talking about how bad it is up there. I've had comments from North America here about how bad it is here. You know, I could name some more. I can't remember them all because they've been, oh, Germany. There you go. I mean, just you name it, places all over where we're getting, you know, basically the same thing. You know, the world has lost its mind, it seems like. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm not talking about you. Because if you've been here this long, you probably are kind of thinking like me. But like I said, good news, because I don't think it's going to last that long. A lot of times things happen in a season, and I believe that this is one of them. But I think that as good people, we've probably let it go too far. We can put a stop to it. I do appreciate all the comments that you guys have sent in. Like I said, they were really heartfelt. I had a lot of tears and Kleenexes or paper towels that I went through, and I even had to kind of like turn my head in the parking lot because I was reading one as I was getting out of my vehicle. So they were really taken to heart. I certainly do appreciate you guys taking the time to send me those, and some of them were long. You know, I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying some of them were long. I appreciate you all taking the time to do that, really do. And appreciate all of the support that you've given us, not only on this review channel, but on our Outpost channel as well, because we do try really hard to bring you guys the best that we have. And, you know, I sit back and I look at other channels and I think, you know, how in the world did they get so large? Because they're really doing the same thing that we're doing. It may have been that they started a little bit before me and the algorithm was a little more favorable to them, because we've had comments, you know, like, this should be a big channel. But, you know, it is what it is, right? And YouTube's not for everybody, you know. It's for me, I guess, on a smaller scale, but that's okay, because like I said, you know, we've primarily been doing this and filming it, you know, just so that you guys could kind of ride along with us, because we don't hardly make anything off of it. We've invested a lot of money. I think at one point we figured that we had a little over $7,500 in camera equipment, stands, microphones. We just purchased a microphone so that I could do like voiceovers, and just all the different types of material that you have to have if you want to try and do your best. There's more expensive cameras that I could buy to try to do this, but the ones I purchased, they were about $1,500 a piece. We've got 3 of them, and then I've got, you know, a couple of GoPros and really nice stands. Now the stands that I've got that you're sitting on right now has been with us for 5 years, and it's works like it did when it was still new. And these cameras, Lord, I thought myself, they've been turned on and off so many times. How much longer are they going to last? But yeah, YouTube, it's a funny thing. But like I said, it's brought us together. It's allowed us to, you know, take the same journey here together, and we still have quite a bit to do, and we hope that you guys hang out with us and until it's complete, Lord willing, you know, and the creek don't rise this spring, but it's up a little bit down there, not too much. But anyway, friends, you know, we always say that, you know, thanks, and we really do mean that. Thank you for hanging out here with us and being a part of the Smoky Mountain Outpost. We really do appreciate it. I need to get busy and start working on this, because I'm starting to sweat here talking to y'all. So thank you so much. We hope that you have a very blessed week, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.